Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Oh yeah, baby. We are so back.
We're so back.
Some could say we've never been more back.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah. I made very grandiose predictions. I'm just the same person as I was.
We're the same. For good and for worse.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? That's fair.
It's a net neutral, you know? You take it all.
Hey, speaking of net neutrality.
Ooh.
No, this is not. This is a safe space. All right, my ins, my outs this year. In is lower rent.
Yeah.
/ no rent.
Right. Out landlords. Right? Like, we can
Correct.
just agree on that.
In a way of using my water bottle without having to clean it / worry about mold.
Oh, yeah.
That shit keeps me up at night.
Yeah. And, like, the only ones of those that exist, like, because I've seen those on, like, Shark Tank or whatever, and they're like, it's, like, $300 for a self-cleaning, like, actual smart water bottle that's not going to make you panic all the time. And that sucks, right? Like, we shouldn't let them win, right? But this is also untenable. This is unsustainable.
Yeah.
Especially all these, listen, I see you, Stanley Cup Girlies, you're all over my feed. I am watching you like a National Geographic documentary.
This like woman adjacent propaganda everywhere.
But there is a lot of parts to those, right? Like straws are hard to clean, famously, or at least they're not fun to clean. It's just annoying.
And hard. I would agree. I think they're hard and it's a lot of parts.
Right. There's a lot of things going on. And like water, hydration, important.
Correct.
Cleaning,
necessary.
not as fun, but necessary. And it should be easy to enjoy water, which is good.
I just want to be able to have like, you know, those things that they give guinea pigs to drink water out of? Like, I want to be able to like, why isn't there one of those that exists where I don't have to worry about fucking mold? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Why
just give me a spigot next to my bed.
Literally.
Like in every room in my home, and just let me slurp that up.
Like my body is made of most of it. I need it.
Right.
But I also have to worry about this thing that also can kill me and make me like hallucinate about ghosts. Like, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I want. Those are that's all I'm asking for, you know?
I think those are reasonable demands from the universe.
Also, okay, and if I get to be picky, I would like to have a trailer of that Mickey movie that Robert's in before the movie comes out.
Right. That would be it'd be nice to
I just want to know
anything.
A little bit more about it before we're required to see it.
Right. Yeah. And that's soon-ish, actually.
It's like March.
Yeah. So any information would be appreciated.
Just
for
like
sure.
A little bit. You know?
Yeah.
I thought it was because of the strike, but apparently no.
No, they said, fuck it. You're not, this is it. You get one still of Robert Pattinson in like moody green light, and that's it. That's all you're getting.
Yeah.
/ that teaser
Come to
type
this movie.
thing. But like, that's kind of the same thing.
So anyways, welcome into Twilight.
Hey.
We have simple demands.
Oh.
I know it reads
also
like a
in for this
hostage.
year is everyone listening. Congratulations, you made it. You are in and cool for 2024.
You're in. You're here. You've made it. Welcome to VIP.
Yeah, when you're here, your family, you know.
God, don't, because I'm going to be thinking about those fucking breadsticks for the next hour. And that's rude.
I thought that you were going to say there's like almost a certain litmus test that we've almost certainly hit, that how many times we've said it that we are going to get some sort of notice. Sort of, please stop saying that. You do not own the copyright.
No, it's just a retcon. It's just a retcon that like the past 8 years have been retroactively sponsored by Olive Garden this whole time.
I mean, I thought that was just understood, but you know, that's fine.
The amount of times that I have seen the people who have now bought the Olive Garden cheese graters on my TikTok feed has been
Oh,
wild.
sure. I mean, listen, I see the vision, you know?
I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful
Right.
that we are, like, somehow coming back to the, like, early aughts Tuscan kitchen.
Embrace
just-
tradition. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Reject modernity by, like, people are just buying out Olive Gardens and making it their home decor. And I think that that's hot and beautiful. And also a very strong indicator of the recession.
Yeah, well,
You
one
know,
comes with the other, I suppose.
why buy it at Macy's if you can just, you know, go into your local Olive Garden and buy it there? Skip the middleman. How are you?
I'm here. I want to bring a show to the space. Hello. What a
Shocking,
surprise.
innovative, new
right?
for a new
Yeah.
year.
Right. And here's the pitch, right?
All right.
We like Yellow Jackets. We like, if you've watched The Wilds, which is similar to Yellow Jackets, we like stories with girlies who are either stuck on an island or a place because of like a natural disaster or a catastrophic event, right? Last few years, rife with this kind of content, right?
Correct.
What if there was one like that, but it was like a comedy?
Oh.
And also, it was Australian.
Oh.
And also, it was like set in modern-ish days, but related to like 2007 very explicitly.
So Lost?
Right, that is Lost. Fuck, you're right, that is Lost.
Let's talk about Lost.
Like, we can't talk about Lost. This show is called Class of '07, which I think is a bad name for a show, for what it is, because it's not really representative of the show, but that is what it's called. And it stars Queen, love of my life, Emily Browning.
Oh my god.
Among other people who are very good. But it is like a short, you know, Yellow Jackets-y type show in Australia. It starts off, very importantly, with Emily Browning basically being like a contestant on The Bachelor in a very short scene.
Ooh.
That's just and then something happens and it's very embarrassing, and she kind of just like fucks off to the woods to live alone because it's very embarrassing and everyone saw her on TV. And then flashback, 10-year anniversary reunion, or maybe 15, something like that. And disaster strikes, and now they're all in this like fancy all girls like Catholic boarding school, and now it's all these women who hate each other because they were in high school together and it sucked, and now have to like provide and live off the land and also figure out their own personal traumas. And it's also incredibly funny.
Oh no. No.
It's so, like, conceptually, it's like, I'm very nervous about what's going on here. There's a lot of people who have issues here.
Is it gonna bring me back to my, like, sucker punch phase?
Listen, I never have one foot out of the sucker punch fandom in my heart spiritually, even though I probably have not seen it since 2009.
Literally.
It does frame every thought I have in some way or another, probably, if you go back long enough. But she's great, and she's got, you know, charisma at the wazoo, and her comedic timing is very good. I would recommend if you're in the Yellow Jackets-y mindset and are waiting for season 3 or whatever, and want a little bit of levity to it, but still like the core themes of that kind of stuff. And also like within better conditions because they're at least in this giant fancy building.
Right.
It's
true.
Interesting. It's fun. You know, like there's different things going on. And it's a good time. I highly recommend it.
Here's my question. How many days do they last before they start sucking the helium out of the balloons to entertain themselves? Because that'd be like 5 hours for me, probably.
Right, yeah.
It is always shocking to me because we don't talk about our happy things before we record.
Yeah.
When we share a brain cell and bring like the same shade of thing each week.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Look at us. We're synergy, you know?
I know. That's so wild.
How are you doing, my dude?
I will say that when we finished our episode last week, I did watch all of Pokemon Concierge in one sitting.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, you did.
I think it's beautiful and it's great. It did calm me out. It felt like going to therapy.
Right. Yeah.
But it is beautiful, and I will say it did not make me scared at all.
That's wonderful. I love to hear that.
It did not feel like claymation. It did feel like felt. So
yeah.
You were correct.
Yeah.
I am doing well. I also have brought a Yellow Jackets tangential thing this week.
Look at us.
But to switch things up for 2024, I've brought a film.
Okay.
A movie, perhaps.
Okay. A cinephile, perhaps.
And it's a fucking foreign film. Like, who am I?
Whoa. Okay.
Who's to say? This is a Society of the Snow, and it, like, just came out on Netflix. It's not new, but, like, it just came out on Netflix. And I cannot recommend this enough. Now, you might be shocked, because it's like, first of all, foreign film. I have no attention span. And it's 2.5 hours, which I have a very strong rule about this.
Sure. Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. It does not feel like 2.5 hours. My attention was engaged the whole time. So
Fabulous.
I did not realize, I knew it was a foreign film, but I didn't realize until like 40 minutes in that Netflix had like auto-selected it to be English dubbed. And I was like, you know what? Whatever.
Yeah, they do that, and it's always such a jump scare, because you're like, am I reading lips incorrectly? Like, what is happening?
Like a couple minutes in, and that's such a like trigger for me. If there is an off sync between the audio and I like cannot watch something. So I looked up a couple minutes in, and I was like, there must be something wrong with me. And I tried to fix it, and then when I finally looked at I like turned the captions on and off, but then when I finally looked at the dub, I was like, oh fuck. And then I was committed because I liked the way that the voices sounded. So I was like, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is a remake of a book of what I knew. I thought this was like very similar to Yellow Jackets. So 1972 book about Uruguayan boys, rugby players, trying to go to Chile. Their plane hits a mountain. They crash in these mountains. And there's like 50 of them. And they last for like 70 days.
Jeez.
And it starts off like, that like 16 of them survive. So it's not like a spoiler. Also, it's like 50 years old. So.
Right. Sure.
And there's like a movie and a documentary about it. So. But I knew going in that was the story. And the whole time I haven't felt so much tension watching a movie since Uncut Gems.
Ooh, okay.
But with Uncut Gems, I didn't know what was happening, right? So I was like stressed, but I was like, what the fuck's going on? With this, I knew that they were going to be rescued. But each time I was like, I don't know how they're going to get to the end. Like, I know the resolution, but like, what is happening here? So it was very sad. It gets a lot more, I don't know. It's not like gory by any means, but they definitely don't shy away from stuff like they do in Yellow Jackets, you know? Like it's not a party, I will say, when they are trying to survive. I will say. But it's just these beautiful boys trying to survive, and I was crying, and it was beautiful, and it didn't feel like 2.5 hours. Like, I was enraptured the whole time. So I would definitely recommend watching it. Just know going in what it's about, so you're not like shocked at all. But it was a beautiful story about just guys being dudes and trying to take care of each other.
I love that.
So,
I'm very excited. It feels very intense, but
it is
in a good way.
It's very intense, and I haven't seen the like 1993 movie, so I didn't have anything to compare it to. But I've seen similar types of stories before of like survival in the mountains. And sometimes with those, there are like caverns or glaciers where they can try to like hide from the snow. In this, they were completely exposed to the elements. And I was like, holy fuck, that sounds terrifying. So, very interesting. But I'm very curious to hear your thoughts about it.
Yeah.
So, it's not like it's a happy story, but the movie was beautiful. And the cast is like, they're like no names. Like, these are all folks who are just starting out, from what I can tell. And I thought that was cute, and I love it.
Hell yeah.
We have a short news section today. But it confirms everything that we've been talking about for the last, like, I don't know, 13 weeks.
Right.
So, we're right, is basically what this segment is. This is a piece from Best Life Online. Thank you, Leah Beck. And it is telling us that both Nina and Paul, during the first couple months of filming The Vampire Diaries, they fucking hated each other.
Well. Now, interesting. I wonder why there's no chemistry whatsoever.
The weird thing, so this comes from a podcast where she appeared in 2019 called Directionally Challenged. She says that they had chemistry. First of all, she said, this is her words. She says they had chemistry because they, quote, despised each other. I believe that you despise each other. I don't see the chemistry.
Right. I don't think it worked so well in your favor because it did not translate. Like, and we'll get to this more in this actual episode that we're going to talk about. But, like, the despise you kind of chemistry works with, like, Elena and Damon, right? But that obviously isn't the case because they don't, like, despise each other in real life. But that is, like, where that would be useful as an actor. With Stefan, that's not even coming across as, like, anything. It's just a brick wall.
Absolutely not. No, so she says on this podcast, Paul and I didn't get along at the beginning of the show. I respected Paul. I didn't like Paul. I remember everyone would walk up to me after the show aired and they'd be like, "Are you and Paul dating in real life?" Everyone thought we had such good chemistry. I realized now there's a fine line between love and hate, and we despised each other so much that it read as love, but we really didn't get along the first 5 months of shooting.
That's just, like, saying we despised each other so much. It read as love. That's bananas.
I
That's
know.
So funny.
I have read and I have seen in media enemies to lovers. I don't see chemistry here at all.
No, it's not even registering as any of that. Like, okay, what? And
this piece and another one that I saw talked about the fact that Nina and Ian dated at some point. That I can see. I don't think they were dating during this time at all. Yeah. But they already have chemistry, not just as actors, but as people. You can see it. These two, no. No.
Also, this, there's, like, further context of why maybe this might have happened, which is incredibly funny. Because Paul Wesley's, like, quote-unquote audition strategy seemed a little aloof. Seemed a little, like, not very good. Because Nina Dobrev was already cast, and he's like, I had a specific approach, like, everyone was going up to her and saying hi. And I was like, quote, fuck that. I'm not going to look her in the eye. And I'm also not going to introduce myself. I'm just going to sit in the corner. So yeah, bud, I think you're getting off to a pretty bad foot, my dude. Yeah,
I'd also not like you if you did that, Paul.
Right. And, like, that's even, and he says he did it because method, I guess, of, like, contextually they didn't know each other until the scene they had to read. But it's like,
were you auditioning to be Damon, my man?
What do you mean?
Yeah, it makes complete sense that she would be like, who the fuck is this guy? Like,
yeah. It's like, this guy stinks. That's so funny.
God. Yeah, I would also not like him. No, thank you.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It is important context. And also, we're always right, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Also, this is a sidebar, but can we appreciate that Nina Dobrev has the Instagram handle Nina?
I love her.
Just Nina. That's so powerful.
She must have got on Instagram from the jump, right?
Yeah, or she probably got like some sort of contact or something. I don't remember what her original one was, if it was not Nina, but that is still fucking powerful and cool.
I think that's great. Good job, Nina.
God. Hell yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah, go off, queen.
If I find out anything about you that's bad, I'm going to be really upset.
Yeah. We're going to have some words, Nina Dobrev.
Because right now, everything about this is coming up, Nina.
Right. I'm a fan.
So, don't disappoint me.
Don't ruin it now.
don't fucking piss me off. All right. Last week was Oops All Flashbacks.
Yep.
We found out why Damon has been holding a grudge against Stefan this whole time, and it's just a miscommunication that could have been solved almost 200 years ago. And it's also not Stefan's fault. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why Damon could hate Stefan, and I agree, but it's the main reason about like why Catherine got locked up, which is not Stefan's fault. It was actually their dad, Giuseppe, the whole time.
Right. It was all Giuseppe.
It was Giuseppe the entire time. And we found out that Jonathan, well, I was going to say Elena's ancestor, but I guess it's Jeremy's ancestor now.
Right.
Was the one who had the grimoire in the past, was BFFs with both sides, right? Like the vampire hunters and the vampires.
Right.
He had that thing with Pearl, who's Anna's mom. And then was like, oh my God, you're a vampire. That's so awkward. That was the main thing.
Right. And then also, where's Elena?
Oh yeah, at the end. Because Jeremy was like, oh yeah, come over to my house, Anna. You're super cool.
Right.
And then...
Please don't take my sister who I love from me.
And then Elena got, as usual.
Yeah. Right.
One thing I realized that we should have been doing is keeping a tally of how many times Elena gets bit.
That, honestly, is great. We should keep a running list.
Because this
New
episode...
Into the Twilight drinking game / whatever beverage of choice. Live your truth. Anytime Elena is on the brink of death, gets stolen, gets bit.
We need a new bingo card is what we need.
Yeah,
there's gotta be a Vampire Diaries bingo card that we need to find.
Yeah.
But this episode in particular made me aware of that because Elena physically wears vervain. But
right.
a lot of the townspeople, specifically the Founders Council, imbibe it.
Mm-hmm.
Why, Stefan, I love you sometimes, you
right.
sweet, summer, stupid child.
Yeah.
Why are you not having her drink it?
Yeah. That seems more effective, no? Like...
I mean, the main person that we're worried about her being compelled against is Damon, which I need to talk to you about that part.
Yeah.
That fucking broke me, dude.
Yeah, we do.
But, like, why... We're not worried about Stefan changing her. Like, that is something that Elena has not explicitly brought up, where Bella brought that up, like, day 0.5.
Right, yeah.
Of, like, legs open, change me, babe.
Right.
But, like, the main concern now should be Elena always drinking vervain.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, we have not even had that conversation where, like, Jeremy, Jenna, and Elena... Why was Elena not a J name? Jelena.
Not Jelena.
Jeremy, Jenna, and Jelena, why are they not having vervain?
Right.
Why does Stefan care about her not being like her brain and not her body. Why is that? This dude has his priorities fucked up.
Yeah. What's going on, man? Get your shit together. Protect this family that you are bringing irreconcilable damage to every single day of their lives.
Unlike every other dude, Stefan.
Yeah.
You care about her brain and not her body.
Wake
Get
up,
it
man.
together.
Come on.
It just is like, and I know that that's like a major plot hole because otherwise the show wouldn't fucking work if Elena was not in peril.
Right.
But like, why has it not even been brought up?
Yeah, it feels like a conversation they should have at least. It's just something to broach.
Like,
you know?
They've known each other for seemingly like 3 months or so now.
Mm-hmm.
Not even talked about once.
God. I love it. I love this logic.
God damn it.
I love how this episode starts and, you know, Elena's down bad. She's in a place she doesn't know. She's very confused.
She's never lost. Been in a Motel 6 in her life.
And she's like, oh, there's a door. Cool. Let me just leave. And then Ben, out of nowhere, is like, hey, good morning. Good morning, bestie. Don't even try that, okay? Don't even try to do it. We're going to hurt you. It's not good for you, right? Do you understand? And she's like, yeah, totally. For sure. Totally understand. Absolutely.
Why I'm scared of escape rooms.
Yeah. Right. And he's like, cool. Glad we come to an understanding. Enjoy the rest of your day, ma'am. And she immediately bolts for the door.
And this is why I do like Elena, okay?
She's so funny. She's so funny.
She's like, I'm not scared of upperclassmen.
But I appreciate the audacity.
Ben, listen, fuck Ben. Rip Ben.
Yeah. Right.
But listen, Ben didn't choose to be a vampire. Ben just has one brain cell and got, like, I don't know. He saw Anna and was like, you're hot. Oops, now I'm a vampire.
Right. He's just Anna's puppy dog. And it's like, I guess if this makes you kind of like me, which it doesn't, she hates him. But he's going to ride that roller coaster until the end because he has nothing else to do.
Literally. And when he was like, I did the eye thing that you taught me. And Anna's like, Ben, can you not smell the vervain? And he's like, no.
It's like, I still need a couple more vampire classes, actually. I'm a little confused.
I work like a sim, one step at a time, you know?
Right, yeah. I need explicit directions and information.
I think that that's beautiful. I also love, like, so Elena's mainly focused on doors this episode.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's a big door episode.
very door, walkway, like doorway heavy episode, I will say.
Right.
Here's my thing with the writers. What's your fucking damage with Bonnie?
I'm so mad. Mad.
Just from like top to tip, from the start to the end of this episode, they were like, how much physical and emotional damage can we put Bonnie through?
Yeah. It's like, enough. Let her rest.
Can we
I'm fucking sick and tired.
Junior year is hard enough.
Right.
As a normal human being.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Now, on top of it, she's a witch. She's living in Virginia on top of it. Like, you don't need...
She's a black woman in Virginia who's also a witch. Like, enough. She has enough against her in society in 2009, okay?
Everyone around her is talking about the Civil War. She can't escape.
Yeah, and all of her classmates are horny for the Civil War. Like, and teachers. Like, give her a break, okay?
And they said, no, we're going to put her in a fucking Motel 6 bathroom.
God. In the bathtub, mind you.
Right.
Just, like, seemingly passed out, you know, like, fully unconscious until Nina's in there like, hey, oh my God, you're here.
Because she had the audacity to think that an upperclassman who came back to be a bartender at the Grill was cute. That's her crime.
Right. That was her crime. Enough. I
just want her to I want her to graduate early. I want her to go do an independent study somewhere far away from here.
So far, yeah.
I'm so pissed.
Yeah.
I can't.
God damn.
I'm so done with it. Everything that she does with this episode pisses me off.
It's so cruel and for what, you know?
They just make her a pawn. She's just a vehicle for pain, and I'm done with it. And I know that I'm not done with it because that's apparently all this show is like have Bonnie deal with pain. But I'm done and I'm not happy with it.
Yeah. Anna in this episode is incredible. She makes a lot of moves that I was gooped and gagged by. Absolutely.
Anna has become more interesting.
Yeah.
And was not expecting that. She is the longest, I mean, she's not alive because she's a vampire, but like she is the longest lasting side character.
Yeah. she's been here for what, like 3 episodes? That's a record, right?
It is a record.
Yeah. And I'm very glad we were wrong when we first saw her and being like, uh-oh, she's probably gonna die soon.
And she is.
That doesn't seem good. I mean, she is, but like she's much more interesting, and like rather than like, oh, woe is me, I'm going to be used for purely like one person's plot growth, and that's it. There's actually something going on here, which I appreciate. Like, I love when she talks to Elena and is like, oh, you don't know me? Stefan hasn't brought me up? That's weird. Because we were practically dating. Hello?
Yeah, her using Jeremy as a device this episode was... Yeah. I will say, like, Anna has become less of a flat character, which I appreciate. Because I was fully expecting with the way that they were setting her up that she was just a foot soldier for Catherine.
Yeah, right.
And I thought that was boring. And just because that was not really what the vibe that we were getting from Catherine in the flashbacks. And everything that we were getting from Annabelle, because that's what she was going by in the past, didn't connect with any ties to Catherine. So it made a lot more sense in this episode that she was like, I don't give a fuck about Catherine. Catherine's not even in the tomb, Damon, so eat shit.
I'm here for my mom, okay? Fuck you.
And I think that's beautiful. And makes a lot more sense for her character anyway. She was like, no, I'm doing this. It's my mom. That's who I care about.
We love a woman with a goal, even if she is evil. You know?
No, absolutely.
Support women's wrongs.
The evil... I mean, what this show has proven thus far is that the evil women have a lot more going for them.
Right. Absolutely.
And listen, if they're only going to write a couple of women well...
Yeah.
I'll take the evil women. That's fine.
Right. Absolutely. God. And Jeremy. Poor Jeremy.
There was so much pain in this episode, and I feel like that's rude. Because Jeremy... there were a couple things. This episode, I fully thought going into it... Because there are only a couple things that I know about this show. I knew that at some point, Nina plays Elena and she played Catherine. I knew that. And the only other thing that I had talked about before is that I knew that like at some point there's a person named Klaus that comes in. So I fully thought this episode, when they go down into the tomb, the crypt, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. Right. I fully thought that that the person who was coming out as Elena wasn't Elena. I thought they were going to make it Catherine.
Like a little switcheroo. Yeah.
And I was waiting because they kept showing the type of framing that they were doing on Nina kept showing her necklace of the vervain, and I was waiting for it to come off. Because they kept showing it, and I was like, are they gonna... What are you doing here? But they didn't.
No.
And I think that I don't know, I thought it was interesting that the way that they played that. But I also thought the way that they were setting up Jeremy, I thought that they were going to start doing some like cracks at his memory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they kind of at the end.
Right.
But not in the way that they were teasing at of like, oh, let's have this party at the cemetery. Let's talk. Let's have fucking Tyler push at his like thing about friends and have Anna say the thing about leaving. And I kept thinking with all of these pushes that they were doing that it was like gonna break Damon's compulsion.
Right.
But it didn't for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like a obvious thing, but they didn't do it for some reason.
Yeah. It is interesting because, like, you know, Jeremy plays a pawn role in this, of course, because he is like the lure for Anna to go to the cemetery and reunite a little bit with Damon and be like, hey, I know we both work alone or whatever, but like we don't have any magic at all, so we're kind of fucked. Let's just fucking do this. Let's get your girl and I get my mom, and then we never fucking talk to each other ever again. Yep.
But we're definitely not working together.
Right, we're definitely not working together. We are still lone wolves. We are just, for one specific instance, going to be somewhat overlapping in a mission, and that is it. That is the end of this relationship.
We're just walking parallel to each other, but we don't see each other.
Also, that scene is so funny, like when they're both on the bench or whatever, because it's like one of the clearest moments of how, like, no respect to this man, but like how old Ian Somerhalder looks. Literally. and also Paul Wesley and stuff, but like they are off, like it's different with like other people. I feel like that it feels more natural, and also a lot of the show is in moody lighting, so it's not like, you know, but they are in broad daylight outside on a bench, and Damon looks fucking exhausted. And he's sitting next to Anna, and he looks like a 40-year-old man, and I'm like, bestie.
Damon is
so funny
going through it this episode.
Right. For various reasons. And a lot of, like, there's a lot of emotional things going on. He's still, like, figuring out his shit with his papa and Stefan and everything. I get it. He's tired, okay? That's a lot.
The roller coaster that Ian put me on this episode should be a crime. Yeah. Because to start this episode off with him looking at Stefan in the face and being like, I accept your apology about Catherine. Also, I hope Elena dies.
Yeah.
So how about that?
How about that?
And I thought like, oh, that's bad, but it's not going to get worse than that.
Right. I'm not going to feel any other emotions, right?
Ian's not going to do more. And then
listen. Can I say something?
Please, I wish you would.
I see the fucking vision. Okay, I get it. I'm locked in. I am so into it.
Okay. I think this episode solidified for me why people then had shipping wars.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and listen, they've been teeing up to it a little bit, like very, you know, not as intentionally as this episode. So this is obviously kind of like a more of a hard launch of like, ooh, what if, right? What if? Imagine, if you will. And fucking with, you know, Elena and Damon have that conversation about like, oh, why didn't you, because she's trying to like convince him to like just
Cody,
like be like fucking normal and just like go with the plan or whatever and trust them, right? Even though they've been very untrustworthy as of late. And she's like, well, why didn't you use compulsion on me? when we were at the Vampire Bar and Grill, like on our road trip. And he's like, what makes you say I didn't? And she's like, no, I know for a fact you didn't. And I'm fucking confused. Like, you could have, you should have, probably. What the fuck was up with that? And he was like, I wanted to be real. We were having fun. Don't make me regret it. Hello?
And he put,
Hello.
she took the necklace off
Mm-hmm.
and was like, ask me if I'm lying, bro. Ask me if I'm lying, bro. Like, very
double dog dare
Ronnie,
me.
very, like, Ronnie, Jersey Shore.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't call her on her bluff. He just says, I'm trusting you. And he puts the necklace back on. I get it, okay? All right?
I get it.
Are you
I'm
happy
here.
now?
I'm buckled in. I got popcorn.
And it doesn't help that these two actors have more chemistry together.
It's like, it is palpable. Okay, Stefan, I'm sorry to this man. I'm sorry to the people who love him. He has consistently given me nothing. At all.
This is the
I
first
do not care
time.
about this man.
This is the first time that the characters have given me something. The actors have always given me something.
Completely. But now, like, within the text, we are actually getting, like, tangible things. And like Elena being the reason, like, so like they go to this catacomb, right? They go to this tomb, crypt, whatever. And also important context, Bonnie's grandma came, saved the day, queen, love her, love that woman.
Do you think she knew? Do you think she knew that this spell was going to be the one that killed her? Real talk. Because I think she did.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucked up, right? Like, but I think the whole, like, everything that she was saying kind of led me to believe that in a way that was like, especially she was like, I'm protecting my own. I'm always going to do that. I'm never going to help y'all. Like, I'm here for Bonnie, and that's it. And like, you vampires can do whatever the fuck you want, but like, I'm not like helping you unleash whatever into the world, right?
Especially with the way that she talked to Damon earlier in the episode and was like, you need to get the fuck off my porch. Which I think is like, it's not just a vibe check.
Right.
Which I think is accurate. But I feel like a part of her knew that if she was to do this all the way, I don't think she was going to get out of it.
Yeah. Because it was like, this is the one shot to like fully not let it be chaos, you know? And
yeah, because
also,
Emily
like,
didn't either. I think it's like a generational thing.
Right.
It's nasty. It's nasty that that's how the writers are doing it. But I think that's like, I think that's what they're doing. Mm-hmm.
And like, obviously Damon is inside. You know, Anna's in. She's getting her mom. Great. Damon's inside freaking the fuck out because Catherine's not there. And he's like, what the fuck? This was the whole plan. What the fuck happened?
Yeah,
Where
I've
is
spent
she?
like
Where's my wife?
170 years. Like, this was my only purpose.
Yeah, this was my sole goal in life. And now I can't even do that. What the fuck, man? So he's having a bit of a crisis. And now everyone's like, they might not be able to come back out unless they go now, right? And so Stefan's like, okay, let me talk some sense to him, right? And he also does like a brave thing because Helena's like, oh my god, Stefan, you went in there not knowing you were gonna come out? Whoa. It's like, okay, whatever. And Damon freaking out. And who is it that convinces him to step out? Is it Stefan? No, absolutely not. Elena comes in there, flushed, sweaty, running, breathing so hard. And it's like, please. That's all she has to say. And he's like, you know what?
Worse than this too. Before that even happens, when Elena runs back out. So like after Anna had bit her and like woken up Pearl.
Right.
When she runs back out and Stefan is still in the crypt and like can't pass through the doorway. Mm-hmm. She's like, and they're separated because she just now found out about the like Bonnie not being able to do this yet, she's like,
right.
we can't leave Damon.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
Stefan's like, I know. And then she goes back in. So
right,
it's not
she's
even,
the one.
she's not even like saying out loud, like, I have to get you. She's like, we can't, we promised him.
Right. And also it's so funny because like you can tell Stefan is so exhausted by that fact. He's like, I know we can't leave. That's so annoying because it'd be so easy and we could just leave like right now. Like we could and we'd be fine and like we wouldn't have to deal with Damon ever again. But we do, he is my brother. We do need him.
Unfortunately.
And we did make a promise and we
did
can't fuck him over again. You know, we could, but we shouldn't. And so Elena comes in there and he's like, all right, let's go.
I
Hello?
know that he is like lost and confused and like freaking the fuck out about his purpose because where's Catherine, right? Everyone has said that's where she was. They were convinced about this.
Mm-hmm.
He made a critical error.
Yeah.
Which was looking like he gave the crypt like an offering of blood, but what it actually was is like he threw the like blood on the wall and then they ran away, which obviously not good when like the mummies that are in there, which I thought they did a really good job of that, by the way.
Yeah, they look so scary.
They looked terrifying, but it was also realistic that they didn't look like Egyptian mummies of like having cloth. They just like stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. That blood comes into play later because of course it would.
Yeah.
So I felt very sorry for Damon. Because what the fuck do you do? Like, everyone, you had one job. Like, everyone told you. Everyone believed this.
Mm.
But it wasn't. Even the, like, the witch. Like, everyone said that this was true.
Yeah.
And it's not. And I felt really bad for him. Ugh. I will say to Stefan's credit, though, which I don't often give him credit.
Mm-hmm.
He did. The only reason why Anna was able to go down into the crypt was because he chose her over Ben so that Jeremy didn't die. And I thought that that was a smart move on his part.
Mm-hmm.
And it did allow him to use fucking Rick's flame bazooka on Ben.
Yeah.
Which was powerful and great.
Oh man.
So, not great. Also, Bonnie seemed very tired from that spell. And obviously Grams was too, but we didn't really get to see the full extent of that until later. RIP.
Yeah.
Before talking about the very end of the episode, the like C plot of this episode was Caroline and
right.
Matt, and I hated it.
Yeah, and also it felt so like given the tone of the rest of the episode, it was so weird to like jump back in there a couple times being like, whoa, okay, like this thing is happening like subsequently to this.
It felt incredibly unnecessary when we had enough going on.
Yeah. There's so much this oozing with drama right now.
We already had a tie to the party, which was Jeremy. We didn't need Caroline and Matt. I mean, listen, I always like to see Caroline in an episode, but I didn't need that happening this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it's just like, so you guys are fine? Cool. Why is this being parsed out over these 42 minutes?
Right, because it feels like it's not fine, right? Like,
no.
Each one of those interactions could be boiled down to, okay, we had a conversation, and I think we're good, ? And it's like, okay, then why are we having this conversation like 3 times in this episode? Because it feels like this is not resolved, right? Like, this is not...
It's very confusing.
Yeah. But like, okay, thanks for the clarification, I guess. That's definitely going to play out well.
It's also, I mean, to be fair, it's also very high school, right? Of like...
Yeah, that's also true. That's so true. Yeah, you're right.
You have the same conversation a couple times and the conclusion is like, so we're good?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Cool.
You come out of it feeling self-conscious. That
Yeah.
does seem historically accurate.
Yeah. Oh my god, the ending of this episode is buck wild. As if enough had already not happened, right?
Right. I love Jeremy. I love him so much. And
yeah.
I hated that he felt like he needed to apologize to Elena. That made me want to be very sad.
Right. Poor boy.
I was not expecting that he was the one from the screen cap that we looked at of searching the vampires.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So that is interesting to
right.
me.
He's doing the capital R research. You know
right.
what I mean? He's doing a Google search. He is figuring this shit out, okay?
It is because I mean he saw Anna's face change. I'm gonna be honest with you though. If that had happened to me, I don't know that my first thought would have been vampire.
Right. Yeah. Well, because I think also that was the second time it happened, right? Because like the
That's
first time it
true.
was the eyes, and then the second time was the face.
That
It wasn't
is
the eyes
huge.
again, was it?
This time when they kissed in the woods, it was her eyes again.
Okay, so maybe it's just seeing it multiple times then was like, that's a little weird, right? Because eyes don't really do that, you know?
I think
And listen,
that
he's a smart, intuitive boy. He's been also researching vampires.
he has been researching vampires. You are correct. That's true.
Yeah.
I was
he has
thinking,
been looking
like-
at the holy text. You know?
I would have searched like scary black vein eyes, but he has
Sure.
been reading the holy text about vampires, so maybe that is what he would have searched knowing that.
Yeah, I think out of anyone here, he is actually the most researched and studied up on,
He
on
is the
vampires,
most
you know?
knowledgeable
Yeah.
human around. You are correct.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Then why would he needs to go back to his ancestor journals. Why are you looking up modern
Right, yeah.
interpretations at this
I
point?
don't know if the Google search is going to help you, bud. You know?
Yeah, you need to go back to your ancestors in this
Yeah.
case. But
Go back to the library, baby. You know? You got books. You got people to talk to, you know?
yeah, maybe not with a concussion, but like soon.
Yeah.
maybe.
Right. Just put it on the agenda, you know?
Right. Yeah, maybe when you can like see straight, probably.
Yeah.
This information about Catherine rocked my shit.
Yeah.
And it obviously rocked Damon's shit.
David is like, what the fuck?
He definitely went into that Motel 6 thinking that he was the one in charge, but that was not true.
No.
I feel bad, and I was not expecting to feel this bad about Damon all the time. And yet here we are.
Yeah, and being like, sorry, your girl actually knew where you were the whole time, and she didn't actually just want to see you. Yikes. You know? Yikes. Woof, buddy. You know? That stinks. Ooh. Didn't have the heart to tell you, bud, but ooh.
It feels like when Bella would send those emails to Alice and they'd bounce back.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And that
Literally.
Oh my god. So Anna says the only person that like, well, she knows, but like Catherine had another person under her spell, which was the guard at the church who let her go.
Yeah.
And Anna knew this the whole time, apparently, that Catherine wasn't in there.
Right.
The last time that she saw Catherine was 1983 in Chicago. It's always Chicago.
Always comes back.
And she just really loves the motor industry. And she had the audacity to say this, and I wrote it down because it hurt me so bad. She knew where you were, Damon. She didn't care.
Oof. Oof.
Which means she's out there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh no.
Just waiting.
Just waiting.
She's
just watching.
alive in here. Or no, I guess not alive, but like, you know what I mean. she's not stuck in a tomb
Right.
anymore. It
Unless
hasn't
she wants
been.
to be.
Right.
I hate this. I hate this information.
Yeah.
It makes me scared. And I don't like it. And now his whole purpose
even
is
worse,
gone.
compounded by the fact that,
Graham's died for nothing.
Graham's died for nothing, because looks like the spell didn't even fucking work.
No, it didn't. She died for nothing, and I do think that I think Grams knew. I do think that she knew. And I felt really bad for Bonnie during this, because she was like, her trauma instinct was to try to like use a spell to bring her back, which I hate.
That was heartbreaking. Like, Elena's on the phone with 911, and Bonnie's like, I could fix this. Like, oh.
Which is such
early.
That's such a, like, trauma response. Like, that's such a, like, instinctual thing to do. And I like to believe that it wasn't written. That was just something that, like, was in character. And I think that that's beautiful. Also, fuck Elena, because she was like, it's an emergency, please come. Like, girl.
She was not specific. Yeah, that was, like, the least specific 911 call I've ever heard.
And it's like, I mean, they do need to come quick, but also she's dead. So, like...
Right. Maybe, like, don't bury the lead on this one, because it is
exactly.
911, you know? Like, just tell them that a woman is dead.
Right.
You know? That's probably more relevant information.
So rude. But all of that for nothing, because Damon's fucking blood water balloon woke up a Civil War soldier.
He's so pissed off, like, threw it across, be like, fuck this! Uh-oh. Looks like it's getting slurped by vampires in the tomb. Uh-oh.
So, here's what I wonder. I wonder if the spell didn't take, or if, because Graham's died, then the spell stopped.
That's a good theory.
But I think that, like, Graham's knew, like, I wonder if she knew, like, it was going to kill her, so, like, it obviously wasn't going to matter anyway. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, it seemed like maybe she was, like, trying to give it everything that she could. Right. And then literally kill her, rather than, like, it being a conditionality of, like, her being alive. Like, maybe just something got fucked up with the cross waves. I don't know. Magic stuff. You know? Maybe something got lost in the sauce.
Sad, because it's not great for Bonnie. And also, I really liked that actress. I thought she was funny as shit.
Yeah. Oh my god, she was great.
I hope that there are some flashbacks where she can come back, because I really liked her.
Yeah, please God, give us more.
Next week is titled A Few Good Men.
Okay. And
could you tell me your thoughts on this on this photo?
I can tell you I hate it. Is that.
What do you hate about it?
This little smooch at this fundraiser bachelor raffle.
Do you not like the kiss that you see here between what it looks like is Jenna and Rick? Or do you not like the bachelor raffle that it looks like is occurring?
I mean, I definitely don't like the typography that's going on in the sign, if that's what you're asking.
The, like, 6 fonts?
Right. There's several choices of fonts and strokes and colors of fonts, yeah. But no, this kiss does make me feel evil. Does make me have very bad things to think. And I don't like this because, again, Jenna, not a very present paternal figure, and I know it's hard. She's young, okay? It sucks. However,
she could be 20, we don't know.
She could be 20, right? You need to get your head in the fucking game here, okay? It's crunch time.
You have Jeremy, who's now concussed. You have Jelena, who's somewhere.
Right.
Who was
Does she even know that Elena was taken from her home? You know what I mean? Like, is she even aware of what is going on in this home?
Well, Jelena did say, she did say to Jeremy, Jenna's downstairs before she went to Bonnie's.
Okay.
I don't
so at
know.
Least we have that.
I don't know if Jenna knows that she's now with a dead body, though.
Right. So
she was bitten by a vampire.
Things are moving so fast. Jenna cannot keep up with this, even on normal circumstances, and she should be a little more present in these people's lives because they're children and minors.
Really busy with grad
and
school.
I don't want her to also bring in fucking Rick.
Right.
Things are complicated and scary enough, and your house is unprotected because y'all let everyone in under the sun.
Jenna,
as we stated before.
I know that you're busy with grad school and watching 4 Weddings. I get it. You don't need Rick.
Right.
And you know what?
Take
you also
it one
don't
step
need
at
is
a time.
Fucking bachelor raffle. Get it together.
God damn.
I love you,
Ugh.
but you need a fucking intervention.
Yeah. Jeez Louise.
Where are your children?
Yeah. Do you know where your children are?
God. She stresses me out. Okay. So that's what we have to look forward to next week. I'm very scared about what's happening. I'm very terrified of the idea of Damon without a purpose. I'm scared he's going to go back to school for philosophy or some shit. I don't know.
Right. If you thought he was a chaos agent before, fucking strap in, you know?
I don't like the idea of him without a purpose. Because if this
He's going to be in a goatee next episode.
No, God, no. No.
He's going to have a vampire midlife crisis, okay?
I'm so scared that we're going into the back half of this season of him without a purpose. That terrifies me.
Yeah.
We have some amazing patrons to thank.
Hell yeah.
Would you like to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Ooh, thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Pew pew. Thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh, thank you to Ashlyn Vogel.
Pew. Thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Ooh, thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Oh. Thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh, thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Oh. Thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ooh, and last but certainly not least, thank you to Emily Ozera.
Bow, 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 bow.
I have a fan fiction for you that was
yeah.
written in November of 2013.
Okay.
It is by the author Tori Gates, and it is titled Family. The summary is, for someone who promised him an eternity of misery, Stefan thought Damon showed up a lot out of the blue just to hang out. There are no chapters in this.
Great.
Of course, there are plenty of other times when Damon showed up and killed a bunch of people and left the mess for Stefan to clean up, or came and outed Stefan in his current life, forcing him to leave town in the middle of the night with only the clothes on his back. Stefan had a lot of guilt. He has a lot of blood and deaths on his hands, including his brothers, but sometimes he thought that they weren't that different from most families. They were vampires, which came with its own set of problems and obstacles, but they hated and loved each other more than anyone else. An eternity of misery. Stefan was pretty sure that was what family meant. End scene.
Okay.
I'm worried that we are going to get back to full-fledged eternity of misery.
Oh, I mean, it's the rumblings are there, right? You know, I'm hearing what the streets are saying, and that's that's the pulse I'm feeling.
The Gossip Girl is saying we are back to an eternity of misery.
Yeah, Gossip Girl is saying it's so over. That's what I'm hearing on my line here. We're on the downtrend. Yeah,
all the blogs saying
that's the temperature I'm getting. Yeah,
we are done, and I'm so nervous. Well, friends, tell your friends and family about the show. This is a great time to be able to do so. New year, new podcast for them to catch up on.
Yes.
So
come join the party.
Come join the party as your New Year resolution.
And if you want a cool last name, we are pretty low on Vampire Diaries last names. We just have Salvatore. So if you would like to join our Patreon,
swoop them up
and get a fun little name, and also bonus episodes, fun things,
hours
it's a blast. Out so many. Literally, the content is through the roof. Come on down.
Years of them. Please do so. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
Ooh.
Ow.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.